I know you love your dog with all your heart. You feed them well, take them for daily walks, even buy them new toys every month. But there's something most of us overlook. Stress in dogs doesn't look like stress in humans. It's quiet, subtle, and sometimes disguised as completely harmless behaviors. You might be shocked to learn that some very common signs, like your dog sleeping a lot or turning their head away when you call, are actually heartbreaking signals. It's not that you're not a good owner. It's that no one ever taught us how to understand their silent language. I once knew a golden retriever who seemed calm and obedient, always lying in a corner. Everyone thought he was just well-behaved. But when he started losing fur in patches, the family finally realized he had been silently suffering through an emotional crisis. In this video, I'll share 9 seemingly harmless signs that could be quietly destroying the mental well-being of the dog you love. And number 7, well, that's the one that has made many people cry with regret when they realized it too late. If you truly care about your dog's emotional health, don't miss a single second. And if you find content like this helpful, don't hesitate to subscribe. So each week, we can learn together how to love and understand our dogs more deeply and compassionately. Now, let's dive into the first sign, the one that might fool you the most, because it looks so well-behaved. Have you noticed your dog sleeping more than usual lately? You might think, they're growing, they need more rest, or they're just lazy. But did you know that excessive sleep isn't always a sign of comfort? For many dogs, it's the only way to escape the pressures in their minds. When stress becomes overwhelming, the body switches to disconnect mode, and sleep becomes the only refuge where they can find peace. Don't let that silence fool you. Behind those closed eyes could be a soul screaming in pain. From excessive sleep, another subtle yet alarming sign is when your dog starts panting, licking their lips or tongue for no clear reason. These are natural physiological responses to feeling unsafe, not after running or playing, but during quiet, relaxed moments. Just like how humans bite their nails or lips when anxious, dogs do the same. But we often miss these signs because they seem so minor. A seemingly normal action becomes alarming when repeated over and over. And the heartbreaking part? Because we don't recognize it, we unintentionally let our dogs live in a constant state of fear. Think that's bad enough? Look at your dog's fur. If you notice patchy hair loss, not seasonal shedding, but clearly bald spots, be careful. Chronic stress can weaken the immune system, causing the body to self-destruct. I once saw a dog owner burst into tears, thinking her dog had mange or a skin disease. But after all tests came back negative, the vet quietly said, "It's severe stress." That sentence shattered her. For a whole year, she had loved and cared for her dog, not realizing she was missing the most silent cry for help. And then there are dogs who don't shed, don't pant, and don't sleep excessively. They just isolate themselves. They avoid everyone, even their beloved owners. You might think, they're just chilling. No big deal. But avoiding shared spaces is how many dogs express emotional exhaustion. They can't say, "I'm tired," or text, "Leave me alone right now." They simply retreat. And each time they do, they feel a little more isolated, a little more hurt. Not because you're cruel, but because you were never taught how to understand their silent language. And sometimes, you call your dog, and they don't respond. Not because they didn't hear you, but because their mind is overwhelmed with emotions. "He didn't turn around when I called." Sound familiar? People often laugh it off. "He's being stubborn," or "he's just pretending." But actually, Ignoring their name is a classic sign of chronic stress. When anxiety floods the brain, even recognizing their owner's voice becomes a luxury. It's more painful than you think. A name is supposed to be a loving connection. When it stops working, that connection breaks. But wait, what if your dog starts doing repetitive, seemingly bizarre things? Keep watching, because that might be the biggest red flag you've missed. Ever seen your dog lick the same spot on the floor repeatedly? Or spin in circles endlessly? These quirky behaviors can actually be signs of compulsive stress, like canine OCD. In pet psychology, this is when their brain is so overwhelmed they repeat certain actions to soothe themselves. Not because it's fun, as you might think, but because inside, they're battling a silent storm. The cruel part? The more they repeat it, the more ingrained it becomes, turning your cheerful dog into a pale shadow who's no longer in control. Then there are the moments when you lightly close a door or drop a spoon, and your dog jumps in fear. Overreacting to small sounds is a clear sign their nervous system is on high alert. Dogs in long-term stressful environments often can't tell the difference between real danger and everyday noise, so even the smallest sound can feel like an alarm. And each time it happens, their sense of safety crumbles a little more. Another surprising but haunting sign is when you call your dog's name, and they don't turn their head. It's not because they didn't hear you. It's because their mind is frozen by emotional pressure. When a dog loses connection to their name, a symbol of love and familiarity, it means they're retreating internally, just like how humans block out the world when exhausted. It's heartbreaking to realize that what we thought was stubbornness was really a desperate call for help. And then there are moments when your dog turns their face away as you pet them. Even gentle withdrawal is their way of saying, "I'm not okay." Sometimes, while you're trying to show love, they back away, not out of pride, but emotional exhaustion. Or worse, accumulated trauma that was never healed. People often think dogs always crave touch, but when their spirit is crushed, even loving hands feel like pressure. Eventually, you might see them lie around all day, unresponsive to your presence, indifferent to strangers, not excited to greet you anymore. That's emotional shutdown. Different from just sleeping a lot. This is when they have no emotions left to give. Like humans with depression, they choose silence over struggle. And with each passing moment, their spirit fades, and we don't even notice. One more simple but haunting sign: your dog staring blankly at a wall, a door crack, or into space. You may think they're just observing, but they're actually shutting down. Staring into nothingness is their way of escaping a reality that feels frightening, painful, or overwhelming. And the scariest part? No one teaches us that this is the mind's silent cry for help. And finally, the most subtle yet dangerous sign: your dog stops eating. Not because the food's bad or their stomach hurts, but because they have no emotional energy left. When mental stress builds up for too long, even digestion shuts down. Many people think, maybe they're bored of this food. Let's try something new. And in doing so, miss weeks of desperate signals. That's when you need to pause, look into their eyes, and ask, have I really been listening? Dogs can't speak. But every gesture, every behavior is a message. You don't need to be a vet or a pet psychologist to understand. Just care enough to observe and love with empathy. If this video changes the way you see your dog, even just a little, I believe you're already a wonderful dog parent. Feel free to share your thoughts in the comments below. Your story might be the light that helps someone else see their dog more clearly. And if you want to keep learning with me how to listen, heal, and build a truly deep bond with your four-legged friend, don't forget to subscribe. Because next week, I'll be back. And maybe that's the moment your dog needs the most.